Hello and welcome again to another video of basic fishing. This time of the year the sea will still be warm enough for a lot of bait fish to be swarming around, hence attract bigger fish to the area. So in this video I'll be discussing on the basics on how to catch bait fish with a cast net, and hope you'll learn a thing or two in this video. Now personally I prefer using the sabiki rig, especially when targeting specific species of fish like the mackerel or piper. However, sadly, the sabiki rig doesn't always work, and quite often I found myself catching the wrong species of fish, or the conditions were too challenging for the sabiki to do its magic. On a tough day though, the cast net can make a huge difference on getting that bait fish that is sometimes much needed. Instead of waiting for one fish to turn up on your bait and having to rebait every time, sometimes a single throw on a cast net can deliver you more than just enough bait fish to use. Just remember though, limit your catches, because if you take too much, we'll hardly have any for the future. Always remember to be a responsible angler and only take what you need. So this is a cast net that I got to use for a while. The mesh size is 1 inch, which is ideal for baitfish. The diameter is 8 feet, and I think the total length is 4 feet. So this is not a large net, but this is more than enough to do the job. Not to mention any larger and it will be heavy to carry around. This cast net is a pocket design, and apparently this is a Japanese design, whereas the American design has a sliding mechanism. Now the first step before we start using the cast net is to locate the baitfish, or attract the baitfish to you. Blind casting until you get lucky is counterproductive, as you just end up scaring the fish away with the loud splashes, and you could also land the net in unwanted places like the foul. Plus, by being able to see where you cast, you can also work on your accuracy on where to throw your net too. Either you locate a school of baitfish or attract them to an area with a clear bottom. And by clear I mean no foul. The last thing you want is your net to get stuck and get damaged by the rocks or any debris on the bottom. Cast nets are not cheap, so make sure you don't damage them. A good step to get the baitfish out of their hiding spots is to use burley. By giving them an excuse to be around the area, the baitfish will gain confidence, especially on free food. So if you see a huge swarm of baitfish like this in your burley, you are doing something correct. Now we are up to on how to cast the net itself. I've learned how to throw a cast net through the internet and found this particular method to be the most useful. There is no right or wrong method, but I will show you on how to use a cast net right now. Specifically a 4-foot cast net, and apparently this is called the easy cast. I hope you all enjoy the live demo. Time to show you on how to use a cast net for targeting baitfish, and it's not rocket science fortunately. And a good tip I like to mention to everybody is that, you know, practice makes perfect. And if it wasn't for practice, I wouldn't have noticed what I was doing wrong and the reason why it worked out. So make sure to practice frequently. So the first step you want to do is tie it onto your hand, make several loops so that when you throw it, it will fly out at once without any tangle. Now when you get to here, this is a small net. So the first step that I do is I check the mesh for any tangles. Pardon for the wind, it is a bit windy, so I hope everyone can hear me. But yeah, I check for any tangles in the mesh so that it opens up more without any problem. The next thing I do now is grab the net, half of it, and I grab halfway and I carry it with my index finger. The next step I do is I grab the outer skirt. And the reason I do this is so that when I'm casting, it will open up like a discus. Next thing you want to do, find your target, which I can't see well in this murky water. The next step you do is get a bit of momentum, and you want to throw with your right hand first. So like Z, and you want to let go with your right hand, and then eventually the left. So just like that. Not a bad cast. And once that hits the bottom, you want to drag it on the bottom. The reason you want to drag on the bottom is so that the bait fish cannot escape that easily. Now I don't have any bait fish in here, but once you do have bait fish, they'll usually drop at the bottom of this pocket, and boom, you got yourself some bait. So this style of casting I call is the easy cast. As you can see, so easy to do. And like I said, people, practice makes perfect. So make sure that you practice frequently, so that, you know, you're putting an effort in making a cast more and more consistent. The whole objective is to make your cast consistent, so that the circle always opens up, especially the situation when you need it. It's not always perfect, but you know, better than not opening it up. So I'll just demonstrate on the land here, just to show people. So you just do it like that. That's a perfect circle right there. Now another good tip I like to mention to other beginners who are keen on trying to do this is that instead of throwing your net, try dropping it in front of you like this, so that you can at least get a perfect circle, and gradually and eventually throw it out further and further until you get confident. So as I mentioned before, practice makes perfect, so make sure to practice your cast over and over again until you're able to throw the net with ease. And also, as I said before, always be responsible and don't over catch the bait fish or any fish in general. Always leave some for the future, and also make sure to check any regulations regarding the cast net as well. I hope everyone has learned a few tips and tricks on how to use a cast net, and hope you've enjoyed watching this short tutorial video on how to use a cast net. And if you want to check out my other tutorial videos, make sure to check them out. Again, thank you for watching, and hope to see you all next time.